Okay, we're going to do a little lesson here on coloring, and I am not going to do the whole thing for you. I'm just going to kind of remind you of some things you should already know. Let me get my colored pencils. So I chose this one a little bit because I thought it would be the easiest to see. So I'm going to do this purple towel or t-shirt or whatever it is that's laying in there. And I am not just going to color it purple. And you should know that by now because we've worked with colored pencils a lot. But just as a reminder, okay, and I'm going to get a few different shades of purple here. Okay, whatever you can find of whatever shade you're doing. So let's say yours is green. Find as many different shades of green. And how do you lighten green? You would use black in it. You would use yellow in it to make it lighter. You would use black in it to make it darker. So get all those colors that you might need. So I have this drawn out here. I don't know if you can see it very well. You'll be able to see it as I color. And right here is this purple section. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find the lightest color of purple. So that's kind of on the top. Okay. And I'm going to color the whole thing. As long as there's nothing white, I'm going to color the whole thing that light color. And there is nothing white on mine. There's no white highlights. There's no gleams. If there was a white highlight, I would color around that section. So let's say there would be a white highlight right here. I would kind of outline around that, and then I would color this whole thing, but leave that little section white. Okay, so that later I can make that highlight look really good in there. Okay, but I don't actually have that, so I'm going to cover that up. Notice as I'm coloring, I'm doing small circles, not big long streaks, because I'm trying to saturate the whole thing with color. Okay, I don't want it to be dark, but I want it all to be covered. Okay, so I'm just going to pause here. I'm going to finish coloring this, and then I'll come back and tell you. Okay, so I've got all my purple colored, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a really dark shade of the purple, or like if you don't have a dark shade, if you're doing green, take your black. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to put the places that are really dark. And I don't know if you can see this on this picture, but like inside the basket, there's some really dark places. Right in here is pretty dark. Right in here is pretty dark. And I'm going to go in and shade those sections dark. Okay. And then there's like one point in here where it's just like super dark there because there's like a crease in there. Okay. I'm going to go in here. So I'm looking for like where those creases, those folds are. Okay. I've got this like stitch line here where there's a thread coming through. I put that in there. Okay. Right here on this edge is a dark spot. Okay. And then in here, there's one really dark spot. Okay. And then there's just a little notch of another one there. Okay. And then here, there's a whole section in here that's pretty dark. Not quite as dark as those where those creases are, but still pretty dark. And even now you can already start to tell where the folds, that this is just not a flat piece of paper that I've colored on here purple. This is cloth. Okay. So my point is, as you color everything, I want you to look for the changes in that color. Where are the darks in that color? Where are the lights in that color? And I want you to put them in, whether it's cloth, whether it's football pads, whether it's shoes, put them in. That's what starts adding to the realism of your project, okay? You put in the subtle changes of color on that item, whatever it is. And so I would like to see on your projects that you've done that you've tried to put in the lights and darks and you've blended the shadows in, okay? So down here on this side, I can't do this one upside down. A lot of this is darker. So I'm just going to turn it this way and do that. And I'm going to show you this. I'm using the same pencil to add darks, but some of those darks are really dark and some of those are not quite so dark, so I haven't pressed quite as hard on those. Okay, so hopefully you can tell that kind of by the way I shaded. And then because it's not quite purpley enough, I'll probably just go in and color over that one more time with a little bit of a brighter purple. And this isn't so much for shading as it is just to get the right shade of purple that I've got going on here. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that. We're going to leave that pretty light right there. And then I'm just kind of going over this whole thing. In the places where it's dark, I'm pressing harder. I've already made the dark, so I don't even have to look at my picture because I know where those places are. Places where it's dark, I'm pressing harder. Places where it's light already on there, I'm not pressing as hard. Okay. But I'm getting more the right shade of purple now because it was a little bit too blue of a purple. Okay. Now hopefully you're getting the feel for that. This is a cloth. It's got some wrinkles here at the top. Okay, but you can tell it's hanging over the side of something. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. So good luck with that as you guys color. Can't wait to see some nice finished projects.